amendments would you be willing to consider? Is there, I mean, are you willing to amend the bill? And is there a certain period of time which you're going to allow that conversation to go before you start to, or before you file closure on the bill?
Do you want to take that? I mean, obviously, certainly open to that. We have been talking with our colleagues in the Republican conference, our colleagues across the aisle, and trying to get an idea of what a universe of amendments looks like. One of the things that Leader Thune said earlier, which was, this is not a comprehensive bill, so we're not interested in making it that. This is very targeted, and so we want to keep it in that realm. So amendments that deal with that are something that we're looking for, but as far as process goes, I need to...
That's right. Good answer.
Okay, who knew? Who knew?
Could you talk about what has been a sea change from Democrats? I mean, Chuck Schumer did not bring this bill up and try to pass it or amend it. Now he's talking about supporting bringing it up.
Yeah,
you know,
he voted for it. He voted for it.
He talked about voting to bring it up, and now he wants amendments when a lot of times he brought up bills and didn't have amendments. I'm wondering if you see the election and what happened, that the Democrats are getting...
I bet every one of my colleagues want to crack at that question. Look, this just shows that the Democrats, you know, how they've said they've had a communication problem on this issue, they haven't. They're just wrong on this issue, and they know it. And so what this shows you, I mean, I said it earlier, but you have the Senate Judiciary Committee that are supposed to be marking up bills that are going to make our country more safe and secure when it comes to immigration, that refine that process and make it work. And in the entire 118th Congress, they didn't mark up one bill, not one. And when we asked for this bill to be marked up, we said, let's do it, bring it forward, let's make it better, you know, let's talk about it. They wouldn't do it, and so we were forced to take it to the floor. Senator Ted Budd took it first. He tried to get it on the floor, they blocked it. I took it next with Senator Lindsey Graham. They blocked it. And so it's interesting now that they're willing to have this conversation. I certainly welcome it because the American people deserve it. But the truth is, we wouldn't be in this posture if it weren't for the Biden-Harris administration and their open border policies. I mean, in the first 100 days that Biden came into office, he did 97 executive orders undoing the work that President Trump had done. They continued to turn a blind eye. You heard Senator Lankford say it about abuse of parole, the Presidential Parole Authority. There have been numbers put forth in the Judiciary Committee, actually by Senator Lindsey Graham, saying that both President Obama and President Trump use the Presidential Parole Authority on average about 5,600 times a year. And yet you look at what President Biden was doing, and he's paroling people close to 1 million people a year on average. It is completely and totally being misused, and Democrats know it. They absolutely know it. They know this is not sustainable. They see what's happening from coast to coast. You can't walk in one community that we serve where someone doesn't talk to you about a child, a cousin, a brother, a sister that died of a fentanyl overdose. You start hearing stories like Laken Riley, like Rachel Moran, like Jocelyn Nungary. One story is one too many, but they have become countless and way too consistent under the Biden-Harris administration. And I mentioned it earlier, y'all, but think about it. This has been the topic that we have discussed more than anything over the last 4 years. The American people had a real opportunity to hear from both sides, and then not just hear it, but they felt it. They felt it in their communities, and unfortunately, too many felt some of the dangers in their home. And they ultimately said enough is enough on November 5th, and they want change and they want action. And for too long, you have people that sit up here and talk and talk and talk and talk and then do nothing. And what I want you to take away from today is the Republicans are now in charge of the House, of the Senate, and soon to be the White House. The days of talking are over. The days of action are now. We understand what the American people deserve. We know that they deserve better than what they've gotten. And under Leader Thune and his leadership, we're going to be moving things forward. But I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, I want to make just a quick comment on that, and this will be brief on it. That you, not to correct, but you made the statement and said for Leader Schumer, he said he could not bring it up. He would not bring this bill up. If he would have brought this bill up, this is what we would have seen on the floor. We had open debate, and we would have passed it. The House passed it last year. Leader Schumer would not bring this up, could not bring it up.
Yeah.
One more.
Do you think that you actually need to have an amendment process on this bill in order to get 60 votes? We've heard from another number of Democratic senators Just this week, you started with no Democratic co-sponsors, and within 24 hours, you had Senator Fetterman and a number of other senators have said that Democrats have said they would support this in its current form. Do you think that an amendment process is necessary on this bill, or can you pass it with 60 right now?
Well, I think that my Democratic colleagues have heard the American people. And so I think that they understand that we need action now. And so it would be my thought that we could likely pass this right now. If people keep their word and people are true to their constituencies and they actually put the needs of them first, it would be my hope that we could pass it right now. We're always up for improving and taking a look at it. And so that's what we'll be doing and making those assessments moving forward.
Last question.
Senator, what's your response to critics who have due process objections to the bill, saying that it would limit the detention of those who are not just convicted but arrested for crimes, as well as the fact that the bill has no sort of exclusion for minors?
Yeah, so if you think about it, when you come across the border, let's say you're seeking asylum, what is actually mandatory right now is for you to be detained while that process moves forward. So this does not take away any due process. So if you have an immigration claim or if you have a claim in criminal court, you have an opportunity to see those claims through. This does not halt either one of those processes, so you would be able to continue both of those. I know that there's been some misinformation about that out there. And then always Section 236 of the INA allows for you to challenge something that you believe is a wrongful detention. So there are things in place for that, but no due process is taken away from the processes that exist
What
before.
about minors, though?
So-
The minors?
So look, if you think about this, you're coming across the border already illegally. You take a look at what's happening in our nation, and you look at repeat offenders. And so if you're detained, if you commit a crime, you need to be detained and see that through. So they'll be given due process, though. Absolutely.
Thank
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.